Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. All right, in today's Sunday edition, we are going to be talking about getting along with your coworkers. So, the vast majority of us medical coders are women. Okay, hopefully there will be more men that get into the HIM field as medical coders in the future. But for the most part, I had a viewer who asked the question of how did I get along with my coworkers? How did I make things work? How did I remain calm when there was snarky comments and eye rolls, and how did I deal with it? So I'm gonna share some things that I did to cope. Okay, if you've watched some of my videos, you know that I had spent part of my time as a medical coder in a room filled with women. There was 20 women in this one room, and it was an experience. I will say that, and I am still learning how to get along with large groups of women. Okay, women can be snarky, they can be rude, they can not like you for many reasons, and sometimes those reasons don't make sense. And I've had people who do not like me just because I am me, because I work hard, because I am diligent with my work, because I dress nicely, because I talk well, I speak very well, because I know how to deal with other people, especially with other providers. I do get a lot of attitude from coworkers about that, and it's just a fact of life. I've come to have gotten used to it by now. I don't like it sometimes. I will avoid bad energy. But when I was in this room with 20 women, I learned really quick that you can't take things personally. That just because people don't like you for whatever reason that they come up with doesn't mean that you got to stop being yourself. And in fact, you have to learn to be more firm about who you are. When I was in this room with 20 women, I was in an island by myself by the door. They had us in bullpens, and I was in this island by myself. So my desk was right by the door. And when people would walk by, they would shake my chair, they would pull my hair, they would, tap on my desk and say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was just wanting to just work and be in my own little bubble and things like that. So a lot of times I wore headphones. And it wasn't so that I could be antisocial. It was just because of everything I had already been through with so many of these women. I just felt that it was better to just stay focused on what I was doing. And it kept me a lot calmer because I didn't have to deal with the drama. And everybody talks about not gossiping and not doing any of that. But it, the way that, how should I say this? Um, the way that you best avoid a lot of drama is to not be around the drama, because sometimes there's going to be drama that comes up and you aren't even going to be expecting it. So I learned that just really focusing on my work and keeping my headphones in really did help. And when I was getting bothered too much, when I felt like I was getting bothered too much, I had to be clear and say, "I'm working," but not be rude about it, but to be firm and say, "I am working, I need to finish this. I would love to chat with you right now, but I can't. I got to work on this." And you will have people that will get upset with you, and they will say, "Well, she thinks that she's too good." Yeah, you'll have that. But at that moment, that's when you have to really stand firm, because otherwise they will take your time and they will drag you into whatever drama they've got going on. And I do not like drama. I don't care for drama. I am an energies person, so I always put off good positive energy, or at least I try to put off good positive energy more than anything else. I'm human too. Sometimes I wake up and I'm annoyed because of something that's going on personally, and sometimes it is I'm not my normal sparkly self. So again, you just have to learn that when you are like in the work environment with a bunch of coworkers and a lot of women, and that you have to stand firm in whoever you are. I I had transitioned in this time in this room. I had developed from being like, oh, this is a job to this is a career. And I started taking my work a lot more seriously. So therefore, I started to dress up. And that was a problem, believe it or not. It was a problem for some of the women that were in the room. They were like, oh, well, what are you getting dressed up for? I'm getting dressed up for myself. That's what I'm getting dressed up for. And I was very clear about it. And it wasn't that they were going to make me feel bad, and a lot of times I had to say that too, because they would, in the beginning when I started dressing up and I started wearing skirts and I started wearing dresses and I started, not wearing jeans anymore. Like I said, in the beginning I wore jeans because I didn't know any better. And then after a while it was just like, okay, I need to be more professionally dressed. And, I would have people that would say, well, why are you dressing up? You're the only one who's dressing up and you don't need to do that. And I would have to be firm and clear that I am dressing up for myself and you're not going to make me feel bad for dressing up. Is it your money? That's what I would tell them. Is it your money? Are you buying me clothes? No, I am buying myself clothes. So I will continue to wear what I want to wear. And you can continue to wear what you want to wear. And wouldn't you know, after a while, some of the other women started to dress up too. So you start to become a leader once you start being firm with who you are. And being firm does not mean you need to be a mean girl or anything like that or rude. I don't like when women call themselves the B word. I can't stand it. I think it's so... It is an ignorant word to call women and for women to call themselves that, I think, personally. And you may disagree with me. Okay, whatever. But to me, there's other alternative words that you can use, okay? But you don't have to be rude. You don't have to be, well, I'm just going to have an attitude. No, you don't have to do that. You can still be yourself. You can still be a nice person and you can still be firm and say, no, I'm not going to participate, or no, I am not, I can't talk to you right now. There are ways of doing it and being professional about it. But once you put off that they can't really mess with you that way, they'll leave you alone, but it didn't change the fact that when we moved into the new facility that I was very excited to move into the new facility. And, my ex-partner at the time that I was sharing the clinics with, we were going to share an office and I was so excited. Like it was 2 weeks before we moved into the new hospital. And I was like, oh my gosh, can we go yet? Can we go yet? Can we go yet? Because being in that room was just so difficult, because you do hear a lot of things that you don't want to hear. Some women feel, very comfortable around other women. They start talking, all kinds of crazy ways. And I think that there are some things that need to be reserved for home or reserved for the bar when you're talking at the bar, not at the workplace, But it's not to say that I am a stickler, you know what I mean? Like I like to joke, I like to laugh too. But I think that there are things that are work appropriate and there are things that are appropriate in other situations. But some of these women had no filter. So, I mean, that's just the only way to put it. But when we got the green light to move into this new hospital, I was so excited. And my partner goes, I'm going to strap you to a chair if you don't calm down. And I was just like, I don't care. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be out of that room, because your work environment does play a lot into how productive you are and how much you really want to be at work. Some people can be in a room like that and be completely happy, and it's like they go and they see their sorority sisters all day, and then there are people that go into a room like that with 20 women and they're just miserable because it's just like there's just so much talking. And if there's not a strong leader to tell them, hey guys, we need to not be so loud or anything like that, it makes it more difficult, because there are times when you do have to stand up and say things for yourself. Like I said, there's been times when it's just they do things to push your buttons and they're trying to push your buttons, but when they see that you are not going to sit there and just lay down and take it, basically, then you're okay. But if you show that, you don't want, you're not an argumentative person, and you'll just go along to get along, that's when you can get swept up in the drama, and that's what makes it difficult. This is why I always recommend reading leadership books, because, and that too changed the environment for me as well. It did make me stronger in order to know those things, and to not try to be a people pleaser always, and it's hard. Sometimes it is really hard. You want to make people happy, obviously, but you can't always make people happy. And to know that and harness that energy, and be like, okay, I know it's okay if I say no, I don't want to participate in this. I know it's okay. So that's something that you have to do for yourself. That is something I strongly recommend. But as you start to get stronger and show yourself as a leader, even though you're not technically in a leader position, it will get easier for you. There are some facilities that will put everybody, all the coders, in a room, and then they can't talk. And that, I think, would be miserable. I see the point, because it does help for like production and things like that, but it is hard. So I think there should be a little bit of latitude there, but not too much latitude, because sometimes, like I said, sometimes women can get very loud, and it does, make it more difficult. And you will have women that are jealous of you, and it could be for anything. It could be because you're single. It could be because you're married and you have kids. It could be because you're tall, or it could be because you're really short and cute, or it could be, you have an anatomical part that is very pretty. You know what I mean? It could be any reason, really. So there's just a fact of life. Unfortunately, that is something that, sometimes people do. I don't get jealous of people like that. I mean, like, why? But there are some people out there that are like that, or if they're miserable at home, they'll bring it to work and they'll take it out on you. So that's why putting off that strong demeanor, and not being that awful B word, will help you, because the thing is, you'll put off that energy that that they know not to mess with you. And I have the energy now. Like I said, there's people that when we have our meetings now that they don't like me. Well, okay, nothing I can do for you. It's not like I lost anything because you didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my focus and my energy is not on them. My focus and my energy is on my providers, my work, my clinics, my thing. That is what my energy is on. And when I think that, something is going wrong with the clinic, that's when I start to panic, but, but getting along with coworkers, it does take a lot, and it can make or break your joy of when you're going to work. So it really is going to depend on how you arm yourself with knowledge of being a leader. Read books on body language as well, because you'll see that when you hold yourself tall, when you are very firm in who you are, you can put off this energy of, hey, I'm here and I'm here for business. And whatever you got going on, you can just keep to yourself, because they won't mess with you after a while if you keep that up. And reading body language books will help, so at least you know how to direct yourself, be more professional, and set the tone, because you're setting a tone when you do that. You raise the bar of professionalism when you do that. And like I said, I hear it all the time, even when I do dress up now. I dress up all the time. I dress up every day for work. And one of my ex-supervisors, she always was really good for the snarky comments. So, I'm just very deadpan, like, okay, and she'll say, oh yes, you look nice, but you can always kind of hear that in the background, but oh well. So that's how I look at things now. I don't let the opinions of people that I don't care about affect me anymore. Because that's a learned trait. That is a very much a learned trait. You have to learn that, because at first it is like, oh, but when you realize that there are people that are more important to you, and those are the people's opinions that could count or that should count, uh, that is when things start to change for you. So that's that's my opinion on that one. But yeah, there's gonna be that. But as you start to build yourself and build your knowledge base, and you'll get more confident about medical coding, you get more confident with your work, you'll get more confident with body language and being a leader and things like that. Um, it will help you. That is the thing that I recommend the most. And I always talk about the Arbinger Institute. Yes, I know. But the Arbinger Institute, when I did that training, that really turned on a light bulb there, because they talk a lot about thinking outside the box. And then it's not about you, okay? It is about others and their situation. And it really does refocus and reframe your thought process. And that's, again, what really did help. So that is my suggestion on that one. But yeah, some women can be very mean, and it's just some things that you have to learn to work with. But hopefully you can be in a very comfortable environment. I am thankfully in a comfortable environment now with my office and everything. And I appreciate it, because I did go for several years with my partner, and it was very difficult. My partner at the time did not consider that I have asthma, and she would come in with perfume, and it was horrible because it was very strong, and it would set off my asthma just like that. And I am I was diagnosed as an adult with asthma, and it's not something that I grew up with, so I don't always know what my triggers are. And then when I when I do get triggered, it just, like, I can spiral out of control so fast, and she knew this, and that was what was very difficult. And I had to talk to my supervisor about it and tell her, I don't understand why she's doing this. This is a hospital. You're not supposed to wear perfume at all. You can't wear perfume in patient care areas. And we had the argument back and forth of, well, I'm not just going to stop because you have asthma. Okay, well, this is still a hospital environment. There's still a regulation against you wearing perfume. So, I mean, to me, it's just common sense that you would think about your partner, or that you would think about your work environment, or, who's around, but that's not always the case for some people. So she eventually did stop wearing the perfume completely, but there were days when I could still smell the perfume, and I just had to deal with that, and it wasn't a good thing either. So eventually, we got separated, and we didn't work together after that, and that was fine, but just having consideration for your fellow coworkers is really huge. There were other things that she did, and I'm not going to talk about them, because every time I think about it, it upsets me. But just think about your coworkers, okay? Because it all starts with you too. If you're running around in there in your office, and maybe you're not working in a hospital, maybe you're working in an ancillary building, or just a separate building by itself, and you're wearing a lot of perfume, you're one of those ones, think about it, okay? And if people don't tell you anything, it's because sometimes people don't still want to say anything. They don't want to rock the boat. But always consider other people's feelings when it comes to, like, what you're wearing. If you are being loud, and you're working in a environment that has, like, lots of women or lots of people in it, you don't have your own offices, maybe you're working in a bullpen office like I did, consider not being so loud. Okay, there's people that are not just naturally loud, uh, but it is hard, and people shouldn't have to tell you, "Hey, can you keep it down?" But I think sometimes people don't think about those things, like what their impact is on the room. But yeah, so if you do that, if you're one of those ones, try to think about that too. But if you are one of the things that you can do is positive, of course, always try to bring positive attitude, positive energy, is if you're going to compliment somebody, at least be sincere about it. If you like their shoes or something, or you like they have a nice purse, or you notice they have a new haircut or something, it's nice to give a person a compliment and know that it's genuine. I refuse to give people just willy-nilly compliments and not be sincere. There was a coworker that I had that was in the room with 20 women. And she was wearing a broom skirt that day, and she was wearing a really loose top. Well, I didn't see her when she walked in. And it was like 6:30 in the morning, okay? And because I get into work at 6. And it was like 6:30 in the morning. I had gotten up and I was out. I had gone out into the hall, and I had come back inside. And I no sooner had I sat down, and she comes flying around the corner and she says, "I want to know why ain't none of y'all give me a compliment on my skirt." And this is 6:30 in the morning, okay? And I told her, I was like, "Hold on, just can we bring the volume down?" "No, I'm mad." And I said, "Okay, we need to bring it down a little bit more, because," I said, I know you're upset." I said, "But come on, it's 6:30 in the morning." She goes, "Well, all of y'all are just hateful." I said, "Excuse me, you need to lower your voice." And so she was just like, "Well, I said, "It is 6:30 in the morning. If you want a compliment, fine. You look great. Awesome skirt. If that's what you want, awesome skirt." And she goes, "Well," she goes, I didn't, no, now I don't want it." I said, "Okay, obviously you were yelling about it for some reason. So, and she was like, "Well," she goes, and I said, "Okay, I can't take being yelled at 6:30 in the morning. Come on, man. That's too much. And so all the other girls were just really quiet, and they were just like, "Wow, we didn't know it was going to get like that." I was like, "Well, I'm not trying to sit here and get yelled at 6:30 in the morning. Relax. If you want a compliment on your skirt, you know what I mean? At least show it off. Say, 'Hey, I have a new skirt. Can what do you got? What do you guys think?' You know what I mean? That would have been fine." But she literally just came around the corners hollering and screaming. It's like, come on, relax. Let's not start the morning off screaming and hollering at 6:30 in the morning, because I can't dig that. You know what I mean? I don't dig that. Well, it was very quiet between me and her after that for a little while, but she never yelled at me again, and she never came in yelling like that again. But sometimes you have to be firm and you have to stand your ground. I cannot get yelled at 6:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, that's just too much for me. you know Anyway, but yes, it is all about having a firm, steady voice, and staying out of the drama as much as you can. Keep your headphones in if you are in a room full of women. That is basically all you can do, because sometimes if they are allowed to talk, it does get a little loud. Hopefully you have a very strong leader that will sort of, but if they don't, it is on you. And it is on you to be able to recognize your triggers and know that if you're removing yourself from that sort of drama, that it's okay. Don't feel bad about saying no and staying out of the drama. So that is my thoughts for today. And I will go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope that gave some sort of reference on what to do with your coworkers. So I will see y'all tomorrow for Answer Monday. All right, so if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. All right, I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.